We've got the holidays, but then it's a whole new year with a whole new start. So what's holding you back at work? John Murphy, author of Zentrepreneur, Get Out of the Way and Lead, joins us this morning to talk about something interesting we've been talking about, that you yourself might be getting in the way of a possible promotion, a raise, just doing better at work in general.
Yeah, well, people tend to get in their own way all the time, and then they look for something externally to blame.
To blame it on?
You know, yeah,
absolutely.
It happens all the time.
What do you mean? Give us an example of you getting in your way of yourself.
Well, it starts with doubt. You know, I had this idea that I could pursue. I have this idea I want to share with my boss. You see it with students. You know, I had the answer, but I'm afraid to raise my hand. There's this internal doubt that people have, and it holds them back. I always say it's like going through life with the brakes on.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't drive your car with the brakes on all the time, but people have a tendency to do that. They resist growth and flow, which is unnatural.
I would imagine a lot of people will come up with an idea, and then they'll just think it through, and then think it, and overthink it to a point where they go, nah, you know what, they're not going to like that. I'm just not going to bring it up.
Well, we do it to ourselves,
yeah.
And we also have people who doubt us, you know. We have people all around us that, you know, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't take that risk. Parents, even with their own children, you know. We learn fear. Fear isn't something we're born with. It's of the mind. So fear it's actually an illusion of the mind. And yet we trust that it's actually there. So what scares me doesn't scare you, and vice versa. It's our own creation.
Right.
So
we
the
have
way,
a month.
yeah.
We have a month here to get through the holidays, and then we do have this new year.
Yeah.
You know, possibly with a new start. What tips do you have to help us push that doubtfulness behind and go and possibly put us in that direction to more pay?
Well, there are a lot of tips. One tip would be to take your foot off the brake, you know, so to speak. Let go of that resistance and just allow yourself to play a little bit with simple questions. What if? You know, so the book Zentrepreneur, each chapter begins with a very simple question that challenges us just to contemplate. So, for example, chapter 1 is what if? Play with that question. What if I tried this? What if I raised my hand? What if I took this risk? What if I tried something different? And then chapter 2 is why, and chapter 3 is why not. When we play with these questions, why do it, why not do it, we see things from different angles, different perspectives. And it allows us to be, again, more creative, more innovative, more playful. And it's how we're meant to be. There's a Zentrepreneur in all of us. It's our spirit looking for ways to manifest itself into some reality.
What about paying attention to who and what you pay attention to? That's another one of your tips that we had on that.
Yeah, I think that's critical, because so often we're paying attention to people who really don't know what they're talking about, what they're doing. There's no credibility there whatsoever, yet we seem to think that they know what they're talking about. And that, I mean, that could include teachers, parents, doctors.
You know, I was thinking parents. You know, parents, you obviously turn to your parents for any kind of advice whatsoever, and they may have no idea what they're talking about, because as parents we do that with our kids.
So if you want to start a business, talk to somebody who's started a business and run it successfully. You know, if you want to pursue a dream of some sort, whatever it is, pay attention. Wise people pay attention to wise people.
Yeah, I was going to lead right into that. Wise people talk to wise people.
And wise people pay attention to what they pay attention to. So we have to always ask ourselves, where's this lesson coming from? Who's telling me what? And it could be anything from diet to exercise to career to financial planning. Do they really know what they're talking about?
Very interesting.
It's when you look at people who've been very successful, they've surrounded themselves with people who are very successful.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've taken chances. You know, they think it through, but they don't overthink it to a point where they say, nah, forget it, I'm not going to do it.
Well, one last tip is they don't believe in failure. There is no failure if I've learned something from the attempt. So it's like in baseball, you take a swing at the ball, and sometimes you hit it and sometimes you don't. That's not failure if you miss it. That's just it's an undesirable outcome, but you know, I'm going to take another swing at it. It's only failure when we give up. It's only failure when we
That's a very good point, John.
We put our spirit in a cage.
Great point. John, where can people find your book?
Well, it's all over the world, actually, and it's online. You can get it through Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. You can go to any Barnes & Noble store and pick it up, or you probably get it in most of your local bookstores.
Very cool.
It's certainly there.
Thanks, Ryan. Nice talking with you this morning.
Yeah, thank
really
you, Ryan.
Appreciate you coming in.
Yep, and good morning, Arizona.
Thanks.